Hello.
What's going on, car guys and car gals? It's Lou Ramirez, the car guy.
And it's Frelin Arts, the subprime hero.
And we are brewing solutions with this incredible solutionary that you see right there from Dealership Toolkit.
Yeah.
The CEO, the mastermind, the mad scientist, the one who knows the numbers that need to happen inside of your store, outside of your store, and then ultimately together. We have the incredible Richard Delancey that's going to be here with us, giving us some great numbers. How pumped are you about that?
Dude, I'm so pumped up. You know, Dealership Toolkit's in our DNA. We are part of the company too, and we're so excited to be part of the crew that is doing some damage out there. I'm telling you, helping dealers grow, and they're doing things so differently than other companies, right? They do it with real numbers. They do it with real stats. They make sure that you understand where everything is coming from. And Richard, man, he is a genius, dude. I've literally seen the passion come out of him on stage, sitting there talking about the technologies that we're going to talk about today, talking about automotive in the future, and what he did as a young man coming up in this industry and seeing the changes happen and how he was able to evolve and then start a company with Liz Martin, a company so amazing like Dealership Toolkit, which has made us part of their family. I'm so proud to say that we are DTK, right? Let's go.
DTK. Excited about that. But car guys, car gals, do yourself a favor and do other car guys and car gals a favor.
You need to do it.
Tag a car guy.
Tag a car gal and share. That's right.
Make sure that people get up in here because there's so much information that normally you would have to either pay to be at a convention to get these numbers and to get these stats.
Yeah, I'm sharing
you would
right
have
now.
to set up yourself for a demo again that is going to jump inside of your daily to-dos, right? But right now you can get some real live actionable numbers that can be taken advantage of inside of your store. Plus, we got some results to talk about from an incredibly dynamic dealership over in Texas. We'll just go like this.
Bravo. All right, so I didn't spill. Almost did. I got excited, man. That's how much fun that is to do that. It's a fun thing to do. I love it, and I love what he's doing.
But we
all
are
over
excited
social. You know the
to
deal.
talk about it. So car guys and car gals, help us to make welcome, and let's get this brew started. Welcome in the one,
the only,
Richard
Delancey.
Hey, I forgot what it's like to have you guys because you've introduced me the last couple of times at conventions and stuff. So I still want to pay you for a day just to follow around. Like I walk into Publix and be like, Rich,
he's here in the
I would do
supermarket,
that for you,
everybody.
Rich, for free, brother. You take care of us plenty, man, and we appreciate what you do, how you always, since the beginning, since you guys first even hung out with us, had a conversation. Liz, reached out to us. We've connected. You guys have been sponsors of the show. You've been sponsors of the Certified Solutionaries. You've been so many things for us. A big part of where we've gotten today. I wanted to let you know how much we honor that and how much we appreciate that. And man, what you guys are doing out there, it makes it easy for us to want to raise it up and share it with so many people. So excited to have you on the show.
Oh, and it goes both ways. We love you guys, and you are family. So it is. I'm very appreciative for everything you've done. Hey, but before we get started, we have to address what was called Dentist Gate yesterday. And I didn't tell you this ahead of time. So Liz Martin saw the really cool promotional picture that you had put on Facebook about my appearance. But the way that Facebook cropped the photo, it just looked like I had the white thing up. And so she calls me and she's like, why did you send Fred and Lou a picture of you at the dentist? I'm like, I didn't. I hadn't even seen the post yet. And she's like, I'm looking at this post. You're in a dentist chair with like a bib on. I'm like, no. And it was that photo you just had up where I was holding up the car guy swag.
Yeah, you were.
Look, Liz. Look.
You know what's so funny? There's
Liz.
the picture. That's the real one.
That's the right
and what's so
one.
funny is LinkedIn, it pulled up just normal, right? So if you looked at the LinkedIn post, it was fine. But some reason, Facebook pulled the same thing Instagram would do. They crop pictures quite a bit, right? So when that happened, when I saw it post, though, I looked at Lou and I said, it looks like underneath his blankie. But I love it, man. We know you have a sense of humor, so I knew it wasn't a big deal. Plus, we love that you honored us by taking that picture and that shirt. We honor you, man. And like I said, pumped up to have you on the show.
If I was ever to be in a dentist chair, I wouldn't mind talking to you guys.
Yeah,
we're all good.
Yeah, we can get that rocking. Awesome. Well, Richard, again, we do honor you. We are so thankful that you are in here. And we want to make sure that we do bring some great, incredible content to all of the audience, all of automotive that's watching this, because there is so much that's out there. There's so much opportunity. One thing that we can get dizzy with at all of these events is all of the information, right? Everybody is bringing something to the table, and there's no possible way that you can consume it all, right? And even in the passing opportunities that we have at events, we're throwing out information to them. Some people are getting it, some people are not. But right now we have some real numbers, we have some real stats, and we actually have the man himself right here behind Dealership Toolkit. So car guys and car gals, make sure that you take advantage of this. If you're listening to this on the podcast, get to where you can take some notes. And if you're watching this on the replay, go ahead and share it around too. You're completely good to do that. We encourage it. But you know what we got to do before we do anything up in here.
Thing we always do.
We have to forgive, focus, fly, which actually Digital Dealer caught a picture of us teaching how to forgive, focus, and fly from the Dealership Toolkit stage. Such an honor that's
cool.
What they see us.
We're actually on their page
Love
nowadays. And, honestly, got to give a lot of props to Dealership Toolkit for that too. They were the first ones to bring us in and bring us to an amazing stage to be able to bless the whole convention, right? And
annoy him.
Boy, did we annoy him. But hey, you know what? We had a lot of fun. And you guys, like I said, so much honor in that, man. We appreciate it.
So car guys, car gals, and Rich Delancey, let's do what it is that we do here in the cafe. And let's forgive, focus, fly so we can get this fresh news underway on 3. 1, 2, 3. Forgive,
focus, fly, and keep growing. Keep growing.
That's it. Let's get this rocking. That's what I'm talking about. So there are some really, really big things that are happening with Dealership Toolkit right now. Let's go ahead and just get a quick update. What are some of the bigger things that people don't know are actually now available for, we'll just say auto dealerships, because you're doing big things in RVs, but let's just keep it to the auto market. What is DTK doing with our friend Seymour right now?
Yeah, it's been kind of crazy. We're getting a lot of great response out of Facebook because we're fortunate. We have the large call center, and we're able to take those Facebook leads and really mine them and turn them into gold. Streaming television, OTT, CTV, STV, the pre-roll, whatever you want to call the video that you stuck to watch. Our DSP now, it turned 1 year old yesterday. Wow. And it's just been blowing it out, and it's grown, everything from March Madness to the Super Bowl. And we're watching how these people not only see and the commercials, but that then we are able to follow them back into the dealership. So the programmatic side, our billboards at the gas pump right now, right? When people are pumping gas, what made me think about it was a couple of weeks ago, Liz was on empty in her car, and she has a SUV, and when she filled up, it was like $100, and she took a picture of it. And so we've actually started running videos on the gas pumps for our dealers, for both sales and service. Hey, if you're paying $100 for gas, you might be able to save a little bit if you bring the car in and make sure that it's tuned and the oil changed, or just trade in that big car for something a little bit more fuel efficient. So between the billboards, the streaming video, the gas pumps, Facebook, and then the call center has just exploded. Next week, I'm so excited. We're moving into our new space. Yeah. We had about 100 people in 2,800 square feet. And so we've been on top of each other for the last year. We're moving into a space that's 3 times that, and even a little room there to have a podcast studio for our favorite pod gods.
Live from Dealership Toolkit headquarters.
That's right.
Wait. Can't wait. That's going to be
WDTK right here in Tampa, Florida. Let's go. I'm so excited. That's fun.
Although the bad part about that studio right now, it's painted purple. Although I think Grant may have picked out a better color for you. So hopefully
it signifies royalty.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. There you go.
Very.
Heck yeah.
I wanna be
yeah. But there's so much that's in that. He dropped so much right there, folks. A whole lot of acronyms, whole lot of letters and such. For things that are going on out there. One thing that we wanted to make sure people start getting down with is that OTT. You down with OTT?
Yeah, you know me.
That's right. So talking about that OTT, right, which stands for over the top. We put out this little picture the other day, just this little something right here. You remember this famous movie, Over the Top, right? And this picture says so much. it says so much. I don't know. It might be just the creative, but understanding that so many dealers are operating on a leaner budget, right? So taking that Sylvester Stallone look, right? A little bit leaner. It doesn't have as much extra to utilize, doesn't have the weight of the other dealerships that maybe they're competing with, right? But can operate leaner, use a little bit of a technique, go over the top, do a little finger roll, whoop,
Put the hat
right?
backwards.
Do like that, put the hat on backwards, become a truck, do all those things, right? But then they can start getting their message out directly to where the eyes are. So again, where the eyes are, see the ref eyes on the competition right there, right? These are high propensity buyers that are watching and looking at us. And you just talked about Liz being at a gas pump and then being stalked by a video about something that she may have shown interest in, right? Tell us more about that and how dealers can get down with OTT.
And there's a lot of OTT, STV, connected TV that gets sold. But the thing that we do differently than anybody else, to us, it's all about the data. And I've told you this story before. I was with Russ Gentry one time, and he was telling me about a guy who wanted to buy some data on in-market shoppers in Seattle. And Russ gave him a price. And he said, well, for that price, I'll just buy the whole market. And I'll just advertise to everybody. And I told Russ that night, and we had some adult beverage, and I said, that guy's, kind of stupid, because you're much better talking to one person who's ready to buy a car today 500,000 times than to talk to 500,000 people who aren't interested in buying a car once.
Come on.
And so that's what we start with the data. Our what we call DSP, which stands for demand side platform, and I don't know why they call it that, but basically what the DSP does is it places.
Car gals, and all you solutionaries out there, we just went on pause. We just lost Richard for a moment. Richard, are you back?
Oh, I'm back. I'm here.
All right, there it is. Woo.
I was talking all along.
You sounded great.
Yeah.
So I just started answering. Where did you lose me? About the point where I said it's better.
Right after you said with demand side
Right. As
platform.
soon as you gave the actual acronym.
Yeah, so it's called demand side platform. Basically, it traffics the spots. So if you're watching Hulu or you're watching 1883 on the Paramount Network, it's what places the commercials in those broadcasts. And so the thing that you have to keep in mind is when you buy traditional television and you're on the 6 o'clock news, everybody who's watching the 6 o'clock news sees the same commercial at the same time. In streaming, everybody sees something different. So for example, if I'm in the market to buy a car, I may be seeing a car ad, but if Lou's buying a new swimming pool, he might be seeing a swimming pool ad at the same time. It's very, very personalized experience. And with us, our competitive advantage in the space is we have what's called a DMP, which you have to think in your head, it's like a gigantic file cabinet of all sorts of data. And in that filing cabinet, we dump in the dealers' DMS, their CRM, all of their customer data. We dump it in the filing cabinet. And then we go get great data from like M1 on people who are visiting your competitors or people who are on your website and didn't fill out a lead. And we dump that in the filing cabinet. And then we go to places like IHS Polk and we pull down a list of everybody who drives a Honda Accord in the market. And we throw that in the filing cabinet. And then we mix it all up. Like somebody grabs it and goes like this and mixes it all up. And then we serve those people the ads. So for example, if you have a Honda dealership, or let's even do this, the new Mazda CX-5 everybody's talking about, right? The brand new car. I saw Richard Bastilla down at Brickell doing a big live event. So rather than showing somebody that's driving, my dad, for example, my dad drives a Buick something that he's owned for like 20 years, rather than showing my dad that CX-5 when he's watching 1883 on Paramount, it's going to be a complete waste of money. We're going to take people out of that cupboard who've been recently searching for CX-5, may have been at a competing Mazda dealership, maybe had submitted in an inquiry, when are you getting the new CX-5 into the CRM? And we're going to show those people a specific ad all about the CX-5. And not only do we show it to them once, but we can show it to them again and again and again and again at a really reasonable budget amount, because the audience size, we're we're talking. Have you guys ever like watched In Demand on your cable or watching Hulu and you see the same commercial every break? Does that ever happen to you?
Oh,
That's
you
not
know
a
it.
coincidence. Somebody's targeting you for something. All right. So Lou, if you see the Dial deodorant spot every break, maybe Fred's trying to tell you something, and he'd been recently on the Dial deodorant site using your computer. So, and that's our advantage. We hammer these people again and again and again. It was funny, Richard Bastia at Brickell Honda, when we first started working with them, you know, he called me one day. He's like, hey, we got to check the targeting. And I said, why? And he goes, well, we're getting people we just sold a car to not that long ago calling back in talking about trading. And I said, Richard, that's fine. What we're doing is we're pulling people through the buying cycle quicker. We're telling somebody who bought 3 months ago, now maybe they have buyer's remorse, wish they had bought the Accord instead of the Civic, or wish they had bought the Pilot instead of the Odyssey. We're telling those people that it's not too late. You can come back in, you can trade, you can get something new, and it's okay. We need to work those leads.
Right.
And now he, you know, and he's such a sales guru. They crushed it, and now we just, you know, you buy a car today, and tomorrow we're already telling you can get something better. And if we tell you 800 times over the next 3 months, you're going to start believing it after a while.
Yeah, or that you all of a sudden have equity inside of your car, right?
Yeah.
We saw that happen out of nowhere. People started having equity after having their car for a month, 2 months. It started to completely just switch how we see customers being able to rotate out of cars. And that's incredible information. And I can see where that would be a great conversation to have with the customer. Say, do you actually want to upgrade? We have a way for that to still happen. Or do you want maybe that color that you were really looking for? One came in, right? When inventory is scarce, people do take some compromises. People do move in a direction that maybe they wouldn't have normally gone. And being able to touch base with them again very quickly and let them know, hey, things are changing, and we know that you still love us, right? You probably haven't even made a payment on it yet, and come see us again. I mean, that's a great way to keep that conversation moving in the right direction. This is excellent. Love it.
Yeah, it really, it's all about the data. And the thing I like too is at the end, when we do reporting for a dealer, we can walk them through each data segment and show how each of them performed. You know, this is over in the RV space, but we promoted a gigantic open house sale event for one of our dealers. They had 2 locations in Louisiana. And when we looked at the data, they were doing a thing where you could book a VIP appointment, and they got, I think it was like 1,200 of them in over a week. When we looked at the data set of those 1,200, 800 of them came off the data set of people who had been in a campground or at an RV dealership in the last year.
Wow.
Right. And you know, we're fishing in a barrel, right? If you were at a campground and now all of a sudden, because when you're walking around a campground, all you're doing is look and see. It's like spending 48 hours on a car lot. All you do is walk around and see what everybody else has, and you're like, oh man, they got a double bed. I don't have a double bed. I'm sinking. My wife and I are sleeping on this twin. I need to move up. And it's the same thing on the car side of things. You know, the tailgating at event, or, you know, there's a big monster truck rally and you sell trucks at your dealership. You know, we hit the parking lot, we collect all those people that were there, and now we say, hey, you know, now they're all hyped up after watching those big wheeled trucks smash stuff. They want something new, and they get out in the car and they turn on streaming radio. They're listening to iHeart or Pandora or Spotify on the way home. Coincidentally, there's a spot. Did you know you can trade your truck in? All right. And now I'm getting in the Liz Martin creative line. She's probably doing one of these things right now. But you know, that's the beautiful thing about this. Or, you know, when you stick your credit card into that gas pump, all right, now we know you're there and you're on a list somewhere. And so that video is, hey, we know you were at the monster truck rally. Hey, and now we're hitting you with a truck spot.
Yep. That's again, crazy that we used to call this just a little bit ago, but some people still call it now, all that Big Brother talk, right? Man, Big Brother's watching us and now he's feeding us ads, right? And seeing that we have the technology to put our message in front of people so often, and then processing those leads, right? Creating those leads from Facebook, which is actually, it's really not that hard to create a lead from Facebook. What is always the challenge is processing that lead from Facebook or from social media platforms, right? Because and we were speaking about it earlier, you are not really on social media to hunt out necessarily some of your business ideas. Maybe on LinkedIn you are, right? On Facebook, you're more social. You're just interacting. And then all of a sudden you get fed an ad. You clicked on it, you jumped into a system, and then you start actually getting a bit of phone calls. If it's from a sales staff, it's hard to keep them engaged with that. But you have a call center also that matches up these leads and make sure that the contacts keep going so that we keep our customers engaged.
Dude, 100% call center. I love that you're talking about this, because what's really great about all the stuff he's talking about, and I know that you're getting ready to go with it, but what I love about DTK and I love about their culture is that they're always looking for ways to make a puzzle come together.
That's cool. I like that.
Had to do that really quick just because.
Get it in.
Lou's usually the master throwing those into the middle of shows, but I had to throw one in really quick because that is exactly what you're talking about here. You're talking about there is tools. This is literally a toolkit for you dealers out there, you RV dealers, you any type of dealers. This technology goes beyond automotive. It goes beyond so many different things, but we're talking about what we're talking about today, and I love that. And this is amazing. I'll let you keep going, Lou. I'm sorry.
I mean, I'll keep it rocking, but you guys see what we're rocking on the chest. Right? We're showing this is what Dealership Toolkit does. They make sure to capture, communicate, and connect to the customer so that you're always on target.
I love that one too.
That's so great. I mean, seriously, Lou, all this stuff is like a ball of energy that can really literally make you explode.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's enough with the shenanigans.
Okay,
but
yes.
that is how impactful Dealership Toolkit is right now. I'm just saying.
Just get some of the Dealership Toolkit tools inside of your dealership and watch them explode. But there's big numbers that can explode, right? And numbers are the things that we love, right? We manage by the numbers. We teach by the numbers. We make our decisions on how we operate our budget based off of the numbers, right? And who we target off of the numbers. All of that comes together. And like we were touching base earlier, right? Our Texas dealer, the Bravo stores, they have the call center activated towards the leads that they haven't been able to get a hold of. Their unsold showroom traffic, right? So people that are leaving the store, they're leaving a store without a set of keys and without a commitment to buy, right? They're just leaving. And also doing some equity mining for them. Now, these numbers are some incredible numbers that they're hitting, and not every dealer is going to operate that way. And that's something we want to make sure that we do stress to everybody, is that you have to have the right people in place to be able to process those that come in. We make sure that it's clear. We might get fish to show up inside of your boat, but you got to eat them. You got to cook them. You know what I mean? You got to do all that. And these numbers that we're seeing with Bravo are incredible. And we're loving that. Touch base with us real quick, because I know you have some of the stats on what's actually been happening over there. And we haven't been with them long, but man, there's some tremendous results.
One of the things that we do with us is our oldest product. We was the very first thing that we rolled out. It's funny. Umair, who is my chief technical officer, he and I built it like week 2 of Dealership Toolkit, which is our shopping insight tool. And where that came to be, I was with a dealer one time that had an office that overlooked the showroom up on the 2nd floor. And he pulled me over to his window and he said, "Look out there." He said, "What do you see?" And there was a bunch of people, maybe 20, 30 of them in the showroom, talking to salespeople, looking at cars. And I said, "I don't know, 20, 30 people." He goes, "What I see out there right now is 25 people who might not buy today, and I don't know why. If you can figure that out for me, that I would be very interested." And that's where Shopping Insight Technology, or SIT, as we call it, was born. And what we do, and we do this right now for Bravo, is every unsold showroom visitor, your best lead source, your lowest hanging fruit. You think about it, you've already gotten them home, man. You advertise them on TV, radio, digital, billboards, direct mail, email, text, and you finally got this person into your dealership and you're ready to go. And then they leave and they don't buy. And so rather than just moving on to the next, what we do is overnight, we pull in all of your unsold showroom visitors. First thing in the morning, we have a specialized CSI team, and they call each and every one of them, and they run them through a quick, simple 3-question survey, on a scale of 1 to 5. How was your experience? Did you meet the manager? And the third question typically, was there anything that prevented you from buying that today? And it's funny. It seems simple. And I've had dealers tell me, well, I have my managers follow up, or I have the receptionist follow up. We don't need this. The difference being is nobody wants to be the rat at the dealership. If you're a sales manager that pushed too hard and pissed the guy off and they left, you're not going to tell the owner, oh yeah, I'm the reason they didn't buy. Right? That's human nature. We hear all sorts. We get the truth. And our people know, like, when you're kind of smoothing it, and they'll ask that second or third question sometime to unpeel the layer. No, go ahead, be honest with me. You can tell me. We got stuff. There was a car dealership in Texas. They were in the box with the F&I manager. Husband had to go to the bathroom. The F&I manager hit on the guy's wife, asked her out for drinks. She said, I'm married. He said, I'm married too, but I feel a little bit of chemistry going on. I think we could have a good time. She told her husband when they went back, and they blew up the deal. So now imagine if you had your receptionist calling and following that up, and she hears that story or he hears that story. Nobody wants to be the rat and walk into the GM or the dealer principal's office and say, hey, yesterday Joe cost us a sale by hitting on the guy's wife. All right. Nobody wants that, because you got to go to work with Joe. We're our call center. We have 3 locations. We have a location in Tampa, Florida. We have a location in Covington, Louisiana. And we have a partnership with Robin Wilson and her great team in Joplin, Missouri. And we're all US based. We make these calls, and we're way away from the dealership. So our people, if you screw up, they don't have to go and sit in the break room with you in 3 hours and look at your stare that you got them in trouble. Right. We had a dealer in Georgia that the salesperson was eating a cheeseburger while he was trying to negotiate the deal, and ketchup kept dripping off the burger. And evidently the guy had like a V-neck shirt on, and it was dropping down, and it was sticking to the guy's chest hair, and it grossed the couple out, and they left. Right?
Ketchup on a hamburger, don't you?
Yeah. So we get the truth, but it's more important than getting the truth, but then being able to escalate it real time to the dealership. And that's the magic. So I talked to the Mr. Customer, and they said, hey, they lowballed me on the trade, took the car to 3 other places. This is what they offer me. And that's why I got mad and left. Didn't meet a manager. We can then escalate it right to the response team at the dealership. A lot of times it's the dealer principal, it's the general manager, it's the senior leadership, and they can step in and TO the deal. Bravo, one of the great Solutionary people that we work jointly with, they sold 11 cars last month at the Honda store that the people said no and left the dealership, but we were able to get 19 of them to come back to the store. And of those 19, they were able to get 11. So the
Chevy store, right? Chevy store.
Not Chevy store. I'm sorry, the Chevy store. Yeah. So
but Honda has results. Each of the stores have results. And not to really cut you off, but I want you to lean in onto this piece just a little bit, because jumping into the operational standpoint, right? Especially for you dealers that are putting out the surveys, that CSI score is critical. Right. And it matters so much in how your dealership does operate. And if it's not a focal point, you usually get somebody tapping at you saying that this is something you need to focus on. What I love about what SIT does is that it gives you that opportunity to know, even if you delivered, if you delivered a subpar experience to the customer, that customer may be back because they're going to go fight the market to try to maybe beat whatever they did, and they might settle and come back to the store and buy again. But they're going to still have that marking on them, right? They're still going to have that bad experience or that bad taste inside of their mouth. You just being able to follow up with that call, not worried about having to get somebody in trouble. How much impact could that have on you and your stores if somebody is saying, hey, what happened here? Oh, and then alert a manager or somebody else in charge to get ahead of that and put this deal together. Is this a tool you all can use? I think yes. I think you definitely can use this kind of access. But what are you seeing dealers actually want when it comes to the information that they get back from you? When they find out, okay, I get these many calls done to the actual customers that leave my lot, I want to know these things, and you fine-tuned it to that. But what is it that you're seeing dealers are most likely leaning into or looking for when they get this information back from you?
Well, the funny thing, most dealerships have a policy or a rule that you don't let the customer go without speaking to a manager. The very few that we've run across don't have that rule. But you will be amazed. Well over half the people who give us, hey, look, the price was just too high. They lowballed me on the trade. They said, they weren't going to be able to come around to my payment. More than half of those people never met a manager. And you think about it, the salesperson may be hanging on too long, or the salesperson was, hesitant, or didn't have that, didn't want to go get his boss involved, or for whatever reason come down on price. And the leadership, the people who are responsible for making the budgets, making the numbers, they never even got a crack at that person. So that's one of the things that dealerships really, really want us to measure. We had a dealership when we signed on to this program, and the sales manager, general manager, real nice guy. He's like, Rich, I guarantee you, we're going to 100%. We TO every deal 100% of the time.
Okay.
And the first week it was like 35.
Right.
And he's like, well, I didn't know about. And the funny thing is, on our early customers, I used to get, and I still am copied on a lot of, because we've never had anybody on this product cancel. So some of our really old customers, I still get copies on all their alerts that we were using in testing. And I can see then the email chains that go back and forth in the dealership. Joe, why didn't you get me involved? Right? I didn't even know about this, especially because sometimes some dealers, the dealer principal's on them, and then they come down on the GM. Then you can see the chain. Then the GM comes down on the sales manager comes down on the salesperson. One of our stores, the owner of the group, he is on every one. And I laugh because an alert will come in at like 8:02 a.m. and it's like a mad scramble of all the people below him to write a response before the owner writes something. Like, very rarely does it take the 6 or 7 minutes to get to the owner. That they're on it, but they save so many deals. We have a dealership group in the Southeast. They have 10 locations, but last month they saved 67 deals across their 10 locations with SIT. And you take that 67 with the grosses people are getting today on both the front and the back, that's a lot of money.
That's doing it. And this brings another level of accountability, right? And we all preach it, right? We say that we want the accountability inside of our dealerships. We say we want the accountability with our staff.
Right.
There's only so many people that actually put the practices in place to create that accountability, right? And with that, again, like we said earlier, some of these tools work, but they don't work if you don't have the right system in place to make it work. One thing that we absolutely applaud and love about our friend Alex Flores is that he is about some extreme accountability and making sure that we are checking and balancing our processes, that everybody is getting that TO. But we all know, that's why I said, okay, when saying 100% of it happened, we barely do anything 100% of the time, right? Inside of this business. And that's why we have the averages that we have. But if we put a process in place to be able to bring accountability, well, then you're going to always see those numbers increase. You're always going to see things get better. But speaking of accountability,
speaking of getting better too, sorry to interrupt. The dashboard that comes along with it,
yes,
you would never even ever have to sign in, right? Because we send you the alerts, you just handle the alerts. But there's a dashboard that'll come in there and it'll break down what your staff is struggling with. You can go in there and see that we escalated 30% because your prices were too high. Well, that's a training thing. Then you know what you need to do in your sales meeting in the morning, drill again and again and again and again on price, or, the trade values are too low. Then you got to drill in on that. Or, we make people wait too long. And then, hey, maybe we should get them some popsicles or something while we're waiting, right? You guys are the operations guy. I'm just a data guy. but you get all of that data that you can really try to get ahead of it as well.
I love that. And you know, like we said, the thing about people, like you just mentioned earlier, and it's not that they would do it on purpose, but people don't always know the truth, right? They believe and they see, but numbers never lie. So knowing the data is huge. Yeah, we can do great in operations, and we love training, and I think that's a big part of what's going to help these technologies even work. There's a human element to it, right? Because we could bring all the leads to people, but like you said, if they can't handle over the price, if they can't handle trades, and they're not going to do anything with these things except for let them leave the dealership. And then that's when SIT technology comes into play, right? And that's when that works really, really well. But you know, there's also a lot of things that we're doing with equity mining with them. You know, there's equity mining is a big deal. I love equity mining, and I believe that when it comes to all these things, and you said it earlier before the show, you got to grind it out in volume. You got to grind it out in volume. So I believe that the more places that you reach out, the more phone calls that you make, the more dials. At the end of the day, it just comes down to the basics. The more dials that you make, the more opportunities you will have, the more appointments that show up, the more car deals that you push out. And it's important that we talk about that. And I love that you're bringing that. So you guys have so many different technologies. I absolutely love them. We love that our dealers are enjoying them. Bravo is a huge case study that's just doing extremely well. I mean, we're talking about hundreds of cars being sold now.
Yeah, I mean, to real numbers on that was 24,000 phone calls that the call center made.
Yeah.
That turned into 3,100 contacts of customers, right? Those contacts of customers then turned into 390 fresh turnovers, hot turnovers, appointments set, right? That these are people that you haven't been communicating with, car guys and car gals.
Yep.
And that turned into 118 units inside of the first 2 months, right? And we're still getting even better traction and better numbers on the way. But those are some real stats. That's some real accountability right there. And we absolutely love that. Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good, man. And you know, I know we have something special that we want to bring in. You know,
we do.
You know, we've been having some fun.
Presidente.
Rich is the man. We love having him in here, but he has a friend that's
bringing accountability too, right?
Accountability too, right? We got an accountability factor here, and this is somebody that's another one that believed in us. He's there. He's trying to help us build a blueprint to be able to have success, not just in our business, but in our personal lives. And he's been nothing but a good friend to us too.
Yes.
And somebody that we love to honor. And I can't wait to get him up. This is the first time we've had him on the show. So we've had to like really work hard. He's always like, I don't do shows.
He came in on a cameo once when we did a Better Together event.
That's right.
He was on here once, but man, we always try to.
Oh man, good call on that.
Into the event. But again, we got to get that music going. That El Presidente, the president of Dealership Toolkit himself, right here is the one,
the only Russell Gentry.
You know, that never gets old. It's great. I love it too, you know?
Okay. And I thought it was so cool how you had a graphic representation of what Russ's reaction when I showed him how much I spent on development last month. That box exploding, that was Russ's head, because that's the one thing about our company and our board of directors and our investors. They're not afraid to let me go out and spend money on development, but Russ has to write the check, and then his head goes boom. Yep.
Yeah, there's no doubt. You know, that's all the burdens of being the president right now. And I know he's doing his best to be able to make sure that everything is lined up. I love that you guys got the new property, the new place. We can't wait to come check it out. Congratulations. You know, I think that it's been a great combination with you two combining up. Once Russell came in with that accountability and helping you guys be able to get it to the next level, right? Being able to have that organization of that levelness, man, it's amazing. Russell, you're a genius, man. We always love your advice. It's good to have you on the show. It's like Lou and I, you know, normally we feel like sometimes we could be the loudest and the brightest in the room, but when we have you two in there, we know that we got somebody that we can sit down and learn a lot from. So we lean on you two both. So what's going on, Russell? How you doing?
Very, very kind words. Thank you both. We adore you. We like everything that you guys are working on. And, you know, I like to be able to say that we were working with you guys. It's neat to see just in the last less than a year where you guys have traveled from, you know, from retail operations, the brand that you guys have developed around yourself, the associations and the different people that you're involved with. I mean, it's been like I think just watching from the sidelines, it looks like it's been a rocket ship ride for you guys, and great job, man. Congratulations.
But, you know,
and it's been so much fun, but your love and your commitment to encouraging us is definitely fuel inside of that rocket.
Yeah, there's
and
no doubt about it.
Definitely means
we
a lot.
definitely, a lot of people want to say they did it by themselves, but none of us have, right? We all do it together, and
We can never say that.
and
We're
just-
always doing it together.
And it's the one thing that's for sure. It's just like the very first event we did together. We're better together, right? And that's something that we're going to preach. We're always going to do, man. And I love that. It's 100%. We're better together.
So being better together. I want to fuse this piece in because there's a lot that Dealership Toolkit does, but they got connected with you, and you bring such an incredible element to this, and that's operating with data, right? Being able to integrate all these things with data. What has that meant to the industry, and what does the industry need to understand about not just having the right people doing the right job, but it's also operating with the right data? Because I don't believe all data is created equal.
Yeah, so it's a great point. A lot of what happens in the data arena over the years has been you're constantly, as a data company, held hostage to whatever the mechanism is that the data is leveraged, right? So it's always the data company's fault. The data's bad. The records are bad. This, then, and I don't want to get onto a soapbox and sound like we're complaining, but I can see where that's a very easy path to go. So over the years, what I've seen is when you integrate with UI UX providers, great developers, people that have a mechanism to actually leverage the data for the dealerships, it truly makes a substantial difference. That's a lot of what happened with Dealership Toolkit over time. As Rich and his team developed out, back then I could call it his team, but as they developed out the platform, it was very, very clear to us that using the different data products from M1 allowed him to leverage and do wonderful things for the dealer groups and his dealer clients. So we see a lot of success in that arena. Data, there's a lot of rhetoric and a lot of words flown around about first-party data, second-party data, third-party data, cookies, all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, I kind of compare it to a race car, and data is the fuel. And then there has to be a chassis and an engine, right? And a good car builder builds a very, very, very good race car, right? And then there has to be the driver. So really what it is, it's the data, it's the UI UX, it's the platform, and then it's the creative that goes into it, the messaging. Without all three of those components, there are a lot of holes in the process.
Wow. There's a whole lot right in there, folks. But so Richard, what has that been as far as what has that partnership been connected like, or what have you felt has increased inside of the productivity with Dealership Toolkit, being able to integrate that right data and have somebody like Russell at the helm leading the way?
Well, I mean, Russ always talks about baseball cards, and if you look at the back of his baseball card, it's pretty darn strong with his track record of taking companies and growing the heck out of them. I mean, one of his companies had, I think, 14,000 of the 16,000 dealers on at one point in time. So having that, being able to come in and talk about the vision, but what it's allowed us and me and Russ and I's personal relationship with this is it's a great partnership because he tells me just, there was a time when I was trying to do it all, right? I was handling payroll. I was working with the development team. I was doing things like this. I was out on sales calls. And now Russ just tells me, just go in the room and develop, and I'm going to take care of this other stuff. And, we've had a lot of change over the last year at Dealership Toolkit. And today we're very much of a real, not that we weren't a real company before, but there's a structure and support with us. And it's not just the Rich Delancey, Liz Martin show today. It's there's 100 people working and everybody has a role. And he's done great things with people like Amanda Lessard, who runs our client services. She's like the one person, even me, I can get hit by a bus and Russ will be okay tomorrow. If Amanda gets hit by a bus, Russ is in a lot of trouble, and I'm with her. So I want to be on the bus with Amanda, and we both get hit at the same time.
I got to tell you from experience, 100% shout out to Amanda that if she got hit by a bus, we all be in trouble right now. She's amazing. So shout out to you, Amanda. We appreciate you and all that you do. Oh, no
doubt.
How
precise she is. She's just, she's on it. Love it.
Jonathan, our call center manager, our call center stats have never been better. Our turnover is less. The drama is less. They're all pulling in the same direction. There was a date and time people were fighting over who took each other's Jell-O out of the fridge. You know, and Jonathan, he's got them all pulling in the same direction. Everybody knows their numbers. I love my office in the existing building. It butts right up against the call center. But when Jonathan, during his afternoon, when he would be going out there getting everybody pumped, I like to walk over and like put my ear to the door. Like I don't want to open up and mess his mojo, but I love how he just gets everybody pumped up. Brittany, who's his number 2. I mean, you know, it's funny, the holding people accountable, but doing it in a fair and humane way, right?
Yes.
You don't have to be a jerk about it, but we have goals and we have expectations, and and Brittany's she's the type of person that could yell at you in a nice way and in a very sweet, nice voice, and then you wait a minute, I think I just got in trouble, right?
Rich, some of the metrics that they've under that leadership with Brittany and Jonathan. Tell them a little bit about the ghost data and in excess of 10% appointment set off of Conquest off the ghost data set. That was pretty impressive.
Yeah, when you think about that ghost data, that's people that don't know our dealer client knows who they are, right? So in like Richard Bistia's case, somebody who was just on the website and didn't fill in a lead, or somebody who visited South Motor Honda or something, right? They don't know that Brickell Honda even knows who these folks are. And now,
I think they're going to know now after you just said the name.
But we pick up the phone and we call them. Now we're not spooky about it. We don't say, "Hey, we saw you the other day over at CarMax," right? But hey, we call from the customer experience office here at Brickell. Understand that you or someone in your family may be in the market for a car, and if you are, Brickell, along with our Mercado Care, and there's 87 great reasons to buy a car there. Mm-hmm. And when we first started doing that, my goal was to be able to take 3 to 5% of those people. You think about 3 to 5%, that's small, right? But those are people, they're the coldest of cold leads. They don't even know who you are.
Right.
And convert them to an appointment. And so Jonathan and Brittany not only got them to 5%, and then they got them to 7%, then they got them to 9%. And last month, we were almost at 11%. Wow. So you think about that, 11% of all those ghost people, we were able to convert into an appointment for our dealer. Wow. And there's been time, I looked at them yesterday, they were in the high teens for a day. So who knows where that number is going to come out. The more training they do, the more we look and get better at the data and who we should call and who we shouldn't. I mean, the sky's the limit on that stuff.
So guys, I mean, the other cool thing about that, just real quickly to tag in, is that the return on investment for the dealer is pretty dramatic, right? We were just all at the NADA recently in Las Vegas, and there's so much talk about digital retailing and taking the customer through the journey. And there's these early stage top of funnel areas, and then there's these, other conversion moments in time. And everybody, you see a lot of the graphics out there by a lot of the smart people in the industry, and they create this digital journey, this timeline. That's taken very top of funnel individuals that are shopping on the website or at competing locations and moving them right into appointments, right? Mm-hmm. Right into TOs, directly connecting them with the dealership, and it's interesting. We call ourselves a call center and we talk about those kind of things, but really we tell the staff and the team internally all the time, we're all about appointments. The dealership doesn't really care if you call 1 time or 50 times, but they certainly care when they see that 10.2% appointment set rate. So
that's right.
They do care about that. And Jonathan, shout out to you. We absolutely love you, brother. Appreciate you. Love what you're doing. But man, that call center really could use a high five. So there you go, call center.
That's awesome. Hey, just while you were talking there, I pulled up some numbers for Brickell Honda. We delivered 34 cars since the beginning of the year off the ghost data, and we serviced another 152.
Wow.
So when you think about that, that's 34 cars. That's purely incremental. Those people weren't shopping with you. They were shopping somewhere else, and then we were able to grab them and say, no, come over here. Come on, follow me, right? But to make that happen, we had to make 12,502 phone calls. Now, you guys have run sales staffs the majority of your life. Mm-hmm. what are the odds that you could get your salespeople to call 12,502 people who don't know anything about your dealership and be happy about it?
It's just very low. Keep that motivation happening, right? They're so emotionally driven, right?
For our people, they don't know any different, right? If our people ever got a fresh lead that somebody submitted, hey, I want to buy a Honda Civic, I think they would have a heart attack, right? Because we're working the tough stuff, the stuff that is, the BDC at Mercado. Olivia runs an amazing BDC in the Mercado organization. She's got like 45 people. She's got massage chairs. She's got ping pong tables,
right?
Free drinks, right? It is the Taj Mahal of BDCs, but we still made 39,000 calls that they didn't have time to make in the last
right? And sometimes it's not that they don't do it. Sometimes it's not that their salespeople can't do it. A lot of times they just don't want to do it and they won't do it. They say that they're doing it, right? They also say that they're doing it because we've dealt with so many people that would say, no, we got people that are doing that. Like you mentioned earlier, we got somebody that's making the phone call, the after the fact phone call. But do you? I mean, let's be real about it. Are they making the calls?
That's the thing. That's why a call center can be great supplemental. That's why grind it out in volume is so important. Now your staff, they're only going to do so much. Let's not, they're salespeople, they're sales pros. They love to talk to people in front of them. So being on the phone sometimes could be treacherous for them, but there's ones out there that do a great job. I know them. I've seen them, but those are like 1 in a million, right? And when you have them, you cultivate them and you allow them to do what they do. But when the ones that don't, do we get rid of them? No, we help them. We invest in them. We invest in call centers. We invest in data. We invest in ways that we can make sure that our customers are getting reached, know how to get a hold of us, what we do, and that they can come in at any point and that we'll be there to welcome them, right? And when you have a call center that's doing that, that is just extra for you. That is amazing for you. That is less pressure for your salespeople to worry about the phones and more opportunity for them to be in front of people and let them do what they do best. And that's make sure they serve the customer and help them get to the end of the road, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I show that stat to people, like the average number for one of our dealers, I was doing some reporting for them, of the deliveries that they had. The average number of times we had to call them was 14 times before they came in. There was one customer we had to call 50 times before he came in and bought. And people say to me, Rich, isn't that annoying? Aren't you getting bad CSI scores? Aren't you making people mad? No, because hitting the decline button on our cell phone today doesn't mean it's not personal, right? Mm-hmm. You're standing in line at Starbucks and your mom calls and you're like, I'll just call her later. Decline. You decline your mom. If you decline your mom, you're certainly going to decline a car dealership, right? It's not personal. So if we got to call these people, and they call me Homeland Security at times at the dealership, because our people can't skip a record. If they try to skip the record or they don't make or complete the call, they have to write an email in the system to Jonathan. All right. And so nobody wants to write an email to Jonathan. The other thing that we have in our system is called the suspicious call alert, which looks at what the disposition or what you marked happened on the call versus the length of time. So, for example, if one of our BDAs would put, hey, I talked to them and they're not interested, they bought elsewhere, but the system saw it was actually the voicemail that picked up, Jonathan and Brittany are going to get a suspicious call alert. All right. Now, sometimes mistakes happen. People hit the wrong button. But if you get 10 suspicious call alert, like I was doing a demo before the show today, and I was showing them real time. And one of our people put in that the customer didn't answer, and the system saw that the customer did answer and sent out a suspicious call alert. Now, if you get somebody that does 8 or 9 of those in a row, your call reluctance is setting in. You can go and stop that. And that's the advantage of some of the technology that we employ to get these phone calls done.
And all of that plugged together to ultimately make sure that we are maximizing the time and the tools that we have. We spoke about it from your stage, tightly tying together training, tactics, and tools to triumph, right? Today, right, we want to make sure that the T and T and T and T does get thrown inside of that dealership toolkit box and explode your business. This is an incredible conversation, but there's some great stuff that you car guys and car gals, if you're just jumping in, you need to go back, you need to listen to. Again, there's so much information that's locked in here, but it's not just putting the right toolkit inside of your store. It's also making sure that you have a culture in order for those tools to actually cultivate good fruit. And I mean, I can put a wrench in my hand, but it's not as effective as me putting a wrench in the hand of a mechanic. Right? No different than putting a phone on my hand. You know, I'm going to be more effective with it than the mechanic would be. It's being able to appropriating our tools, knowing we have the accountability in place, and then operating accordingly. And that's what we're doing as we're caffeinating a culture. Dealership Toolkit is 100% CGC approved, and they are certified solutionaries that are making things happen inside of the industry. And we are so honored to be able to be connected and bring these solutions to the dealership and to stores that are needing to go to the next level. Congratulations for always being CGC approved. But we want to know, how can people get a hold of you? Richard, how can people get a hold of you? Russell, and what last words do you have before we get ready to wrap up this fresh news meeting?
You can get a hold of both Rich and Russ pretty easy. We don't have the super secret emails. I'm Rich at Dealership Toolkit. He's Russell at Dealership Toolkit. Bring on the spam now. So yeah, but reach out. We'll give you a quick demo. No big high sales pitch. We just show you the numbers and the truth. I'm a data guy, right? I never set out to be, you know, the salesperson. You know, we're just going to show you the truth. The rest, and in closing is, if you are our partner, we will always know where both of us stand because of our reporting. We'll know how many deals we're bringing, and we'll also know how many deals you're losing. And when we both can play from the same sheet, we can have a great partnership, and we'd love to have you a part of the family.
Love it, love it, love it. Russell, got anything to add on that?
No, I think you did great. I think all three of you did great. I'm not even really sure why I'm standing here right now, to be honest.
Hey,
You got cool pictures.
because you got the cool background, man. That's why. Not to mention, we appreciate you for just being here, being supportive like always, man. And that's the thing that you always do. You always show up when it's the right time. And man, we appreciate it. And we honor you guys. We look forward to growing with you guys even more. But folks, if you guys need to get a hold of them, you see it down there. You could also easily get a hold of Fred and Lou. We are part of the same crew. I'm telling you, just give us a call at 321 Fred Lou. Reach out to us. That number works. You can text us. You can call us.
Love that.
But we're here for you. It's as simple as 321 Fred Lou. So come on, let's go. Let's grow. Let's get your dealership rocking and rolling. Let's get
you. Liz to make you a jingle for one of those. 321 Fred Lou.
We do. Let's make that happen. No doubt about it.
That's right.
But no, we honor you. We appreciate you guys, man. What a great show today, Lou. Appreciate you, man.
Fantastic show. Appreciate you, brother. And we appreciate all of you incredible solutionaries that are out there. Do us a favor and make sure that you do check out carguycoffee.com. Get you some of that swag. Get you maybe a fresh bag of beans, and make sure that you are getting a gift for other great car guys and car gals out there. Get you some of that dark roast, that medium roast. But today we have been brewing with some incredible beans inside of the business that are definitely caffeinating the culture, and we are beyond honored to have them back on the show and just have them as brothers inside of our lives. And we can't wait to brew some more solutions with all of you out there. But before we take it out, you know we got to fly on out of here. So let's forgive, focus, and fly so that we can keep growing and end this show. Car guys and car gals, join us as we go. 1, 2, 3. Forgive. Focus.
Fly
and
keep growing. Keep growing. I got to throw out a shout out to one of our sponsors. It's NAB That Beyond Mobile First. Just want to say that real quick. Let you guys know we appreciate you guys. It's one of our new partners out there. We got a huge announcement tomorrow. Don't miss out tomorrow. We're going to be doing our very first Fixed Ops Friday with Brad Pascal and Owen Moon.
Brad, those guys are great.
Announcement to make with them also. They're going to be part of the Familia, right? So we're excited about that. There's a lot of great partnerships. But once again, we want to honor one of the greatest partnerships we've ever had, the longest partnership we've had, and that's with Dealership Toolkit. Love you guys. We appreciate you guys so much. You guys keep growing, and forgive, focus, flying.
See y'all later.
Peace.
Yeah.